I wanted to take a minute and just walk through the ChatGPT information for anybody that may not have been there, or for anyone who might have missed part of the conversation. So I'm going to walk through and do this ChatGPT primer, and then I'm going to get to the demo and show you how I built and how the custom GPT for sourcing works. Generative AI, the tools I use on a regular basis are ChatGPT, Copilot, and Gemini. There are lots of new tools. There are new tools coming out every day, but these are the ones that I use on a regular basis. With ChatGPT, I won't walk through all the settings, but as you know, ChatGPT has the ability to customize so that you are getting the information in a format, and ChatGPT knows who you are. You can do multiple personas and update your ChatGPT so that it gives you better responses for what you're looking for in the formats that you want. It also has the GPT store, which gives you the ability to use other GPTs that other people have worked on, and I'll show those to you. And then I'm going to show you a feature called mentions, where you can actually call other GPTs from an existing GPT and stay in the same conversation. And then I'll talk about ChatGPT Vision, which allows you to upload a picture and get that picture, get information about the picture and recommendations from ChatGPT. And then the real key here is on prompting, the initial prompt and setting that up, and then the follow-up prompts is where the real power comes from in ChatGPT. The key to prompting is give it a role, set the context and the behavior that you want to see, give it a goal for what you're trying to accomplish, and give it actions that you want it to take, and then tell ChatGPT what the format needs to look like in the output. So you could output the format as a graphic, as a Word document, as a PowerPoint presentation, just by telling ChatGPT to do that. So let's get to the demo part of this. And I'm here using ChatGPT 4.0. I've already gone in and I mentioned these custom GPTs. These are ones that I have built. So I've got a few that I built, and then a couple that I want to show you that are from the GPT store. And if you click this, you can go into the GPT store and get additional GPTs that you can use that other people have made. So I'm just going to click here to minimize, to close that window and have more full screen. Hopefully this is big enough for you to see. The GPT that I'm using is Cody's sourcing strategy. So let's get started. I'm going to click the let's get started. And it's starting the process. So the purpose of this GPT is to walk through as if I were doing an intake and giving information about the new role that I'm going to have. And it will also create my initial sourcing strategy that you could then export as a Word document or as PowerPoint. So ChatGPT said, hey, okay, let's get started. What's the industry? So I'm going to tell it the industry is education. And it, thanks for specifying the industry. Now, could you provide the position title? So I'm going to say development director. I know that's not the exact name, but we'll upload the job description. Thanks for providing the title. Could you paste the job description in or upload it? So I'm going to upload the job description. So I'm going to click on the paperclip. And from the paperclip, I'm going to get your job description. The Senior Assistant Dean of Development. So now that I've uploaded, I'm just going to hit enter. And it's analyzing that job description. So now it's got the job description. It wants to know, do I want to have the job description analyzed for inclusivity? I'm going to say no, but if I said yes, it would go through, analyze the job description, and give me recommendations for how I might change the job description. I'm just going to assume that the team has already done that, so I'm going to say no. I can put no or in here, and then it's going to move to the next step. So these are steps. The reason it's going slowly is because I ask it to wait for user input. I could actually just do this with no user input and just have it continue to move forward. So now it's got it. It wants the 3 must-haves for the development director. I'm just going to say use the job description. I'm going to tell it to select 3. Now it's reviewed them and it's giving me these as the must-haves. Now I've already given instructions to give me 3, so that was a little redundant, but it's given me these as the major job requirements. And now it's going to say, okay, do these must-haves match, or do I want to add something else? I could add something else here, but I'm just going to say, yes, they match. Great. Now, it's going to go through, and this is the section for a Boolean search string to find candidates, so we can use these. I'm going to tell it, because there are a good number of keywords here, so I'm actually going to ask it to use the first 3. So it knows now. So it's using the first 3 terms. It's creating my Boolean search string. It could have used more terms. I could have added additional terms. And then I can copy this search string and I can paste that into a browser, and it will give me, it's going to find someone, right? And so I can adjust this. I can tweak it. But would you like to add diversity focused keywords? I'm going to say, yes, I'm going to put women. I'm going to put Latinx. And I'm going to put African American. Now, my recommendation is that you go broad. You can fish in all the pools one at a time, because we want to be inclusive here. So just searching for these terms, we would exclude a number of people. So we don't want to do that exclusion thing. So I'm doing this as a demonstration, but you want to include as broad a pool as you possibly can. But I'm going to search, and it's asking me for those terms. So it's going to include those search terms to find people, or to revise the Boolean search string. So now it's revised the search string. And if I copied this search string and pasted it, it would show me what the new search terms are. So you can practice that, and you're going to have to tweak it as well. So now it's asking me, would I like to add other terms? I'm going to say no. And now that it's got these Boolean search terms, it's tailored. It's giving me just some advice on where could I go to use these search terms, and where could I find people, and what are some of the things that I could do. So it's giving me information that says, hey, here's what your search terms look like. And then it's giving me places that I could go and look and apply filters if I went to LinkedIn, or I went to Indeed, or I went to some other platform that I was going to use, like Seek Out or Hire Easy or any of the searching tools. Now it's asking me, would you like to create an initial sourcing strategy? I'm going to say yes. It's going to move forward if I give it an affirmative. If I say yes or sure or okay, it's going to move forward because it knows how to do that. Now it's taking everything I gave it, and it's actually creating an initial sourcing strategy that I can then use to start my search for this role. So if I go back here and I look, it's got a sourcing strategy for this role based on the title that I gave it. I could change the title if I wanted to, and then it's giving me the must-haves. It's giving me some target organizations that I might look at. It's giving me Boolean search strings that I might look at. It's giving me diversity organizations that are initially there that it looked at. And then it's giving me just an initial some set of interview questions, because I asked it to give me those interview questions when I built the GPT, and then it's going to give me more information on how to use the strategy. Would I like the strategy presented in Microsoft Word or PowerPoint? And additionally, if I have any profiles to share, it could further assist with that. So I'm going to say, I have a profile to upload. So if I got a profile to upload, it's asking me now, can you upload the profile? So I'm going to go ahead and take this sample profile. I've uploaded the sample profile, and now it's going to go through and it's going to go and do some analysis on the profile. So it's looking at the profile and it's checking to see, does the profile match the must-have requirements that I put in, and then it's going to give me an explanation of what that profile looked like and what its thoughts are on the candidate. And it's like, would I like to proceed with this candidate, or do I need further analysis? I'm going to say proceed. So I'm just going to say yes. And it sounds like we're ready to move forward with this candidate for the development director, because that's a solid candidate. Let's go back and look and just look at the table. I told ChatGPT to put this in a table format, and so it's put it in a table format, and it's also grabbed details from the profile and listed how this candidate matches what we're looking for with our skills, and it told me meets the requirement or doesn't meet the requirement. And so this candidate looks like a really solid candidate. And so it says, the last thing is there anything else I can assist with? So it's going to give me all the next steps and what to move through. I can ask it to give me a timeline. What is the hiring timeline? Because I've coded it in, and now it's giving me a timeline. It's giving me how long does it take to do all these things? When should we be presenting candidates and screening candidates? And it's giving me more information on onboarding. It's giving me suggestions on how long this should take, 8 to 13 weeks, which may or may not be true to get through the whole process and get the person on. And so this shows you screening and interviewing phase, about 3 to 4 weeks. That sounds about right based on my experiences. So now, would I like to set a specific date based on the timeline? So it's learning and it's moving forward. I'm going to say no. So do I have any other questions? And I don't really have any other questions, but what I want it to do is I want it to export So I wanted to export the sourcing strategy as a Word document. And so it's going to summarize the sourcing strategy. And then it is going to take that sourcing strategy and it's going to put that sourcing strategy into the Word document. So it's creating that Word document. I could have said put this sourcing strategy into a PowerPoint presentation or some other format. We're getting more and more capability all the time. So it's going through, it's taking a little bit longer than I expect, but that's okay. It's a little bit slow right now. Now, what I'm going to do when it finishes this, I'm going to open the document so that we can see that it actually worked. And then I'm going to show you how to stay in this chat and in this conversation, and then how to pull other GPTs into the process. So now it's created the file. If I click here, it's downloaded the file, and I was able to open the file. Let's see if we can get it over onto the screen. Let me leave full screen so I can move it. And if you look, it's created the sourcing strategy for this role. And this is something that recruiters probably already have a template for, but this gives you a sourcing strategy that you could then take and use. So now that we have that, I want to be able to show you how to call from this. So maybe I didn't get enough organization. So I want to call, I'm going to use a feature called mention. And when you do the at sign and mention, I can call these GPTs that I've already used and practiced on. So I'm going to get one called consensus, which is allows you to go out and do research. You could call any of them. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give me a list of higher education organizations have development directors. So it's using consensus, which is a research tool. So it's going out and doing some research. Now it's finding organizations that have development directors. I don't know how many it's going to list here because I pulled this consensus in on the fly. So it listed 10. I'm going to tell it to list nonprofit organizations in the Pacific Northwest with development directors. I'm not going to correct my spelling error because the good thing about ChatGPT is it can figure out what you meant. So now it's gone and found nonprofits that may have that development director role and fundraising professionals. And this is stuff I could have add to my sourcing strategy. Now that we've actually gone through and shown you how the sourcing GPT works, let's look at the back end real quick. When you go into do the drop down, go into Edit GPT, and in the back end you can create a new GPT or you can configure a GPT that already exists. In this case, you've got the name, got the description, and then these are all the instructions that go with the GPT. So in the instructions, I gave it the role, I gave it context, I gave it a goal, I ask it, and I'm asking for the user to put input. So I told it to wait for input and then ask all these questions and wait. And then I've got it doing some branching. This is probably a little bit more complicated than it needs to be, but if it's no, go to 5. And so I've had it do this. If it's yes, analyze the job description. So it's going through, it's doing these must-haves, it's creating keywords, it's asking for input. So the big thing here is to make sure to give it all the context, the goal, what you want, the prompts, and these are all follow-up prompts, and these are all handled separately when ChatGPT starts to run this custom GPT. And then I have a place for it to repeat if it does that. So you don't even have to be a developer. You just can think about what's my idea and just put it in plain English. And one of the things I've done inside the GPT is I asked the user if they want to use diversity keywords and the wait for input. If they said yes, then I had it call and do an at mention to the diversity sourcing GPT, which is a list of diversity organizations that it could use as well. And then if I go down, you don't have to, yours may not be this long. I made this a little bit longer because I keep adding to it. Here, I just told it to export the sourcing strategy and include tables. And then I said format, and the format is identified here because I'm asking, do they want it to be a Microsoft Word document or do they want it to be a PowerPoint presentation, and wait for the response Once the response is given, then it'll export that that data in the format that you're looking for. So that's the back end of how this works. I will include this in the email as well. And then one of the things that's important is you can set these conversation starters. I've set this one, but you can also upload information. So I've uploaded a document here that has lots of keywords, lots of diversity terms, lots of information about diversity sourcing, and I've uploaded that as knowledge. You could upload other documents as knowledge, or even a key criteria for your role. And that's the gist of how this works. And then you can share this when you go and do this. You can share it with yourself or anybody with the link, or you could publish it to the GPT store. And that is how you use these. One of the GPTs that I called the diversity sourcing GPT, which has more information in it. And I didn't even necessarily need to call that because I uploaded the document just a little bit ago. And then I showed you the whimsical diagrams. And this consensus GPT, I pulled that out of the Explore GPTs, out of the GPT store. There's lots of great information in there. So I hope this is helpful to you. I will get you more information that you can use, and have an amazing weekend. I wanted to show you the last thing on the list, and that is how to use GPT Vision. So ChatGPT will allow you to upload a picture and get feedback on it. So I grabbed a picture, and let me just drop it in there. So I got a picture of an office. So I just drag and drop it to the screen, and then I'm going to put in a prompt. It says, act like an interior decorator and recommend changes to make this room more comfortable for interviewing. So once I put it in there, ChatGPT is going to take the picture, analyze the picture, and then it's going to give me information that says, hey, to make this more comfortable environment for interviewing a candidate, here's some things to consider. And then it just kind of walks through the picture and what the room needs to look like, where to put the seating, the desk, the lighting, background, technology, acoustics, decorations. This is really cool. I know it's not specifically related to recruiting, but this is the picture that I uploaded. You could do this, try this with your own office, and it'll give you a lot of different insight. So I hope that is helpful for you. That's called ChatGPT Vision, which is a new capability that came out a couple of months ago. Hope you have a great day. Take care.